And also at the same time, is it clear how we would be developing our understanding of what we need to teach and how to teach it effectively, working in the our work part of the pie? Does that make sense? Oh, I don't know if you're happy or unhappy. You're very quiet. I'm happy for questions, or I'm happy to be challenged. Can I get you now just really quickly in the same way? Actually, Elena, what time is it, please? Check how we're going. Okay. Just have a quick look now, because really we do need to know how to go a lot deeper. This is the one I want, I think. No. Have a look at this area. This is the vocab area. And in grade 3 there was a range of 40 to 67% of success, and there was only one question, which was disappointing from my point of view. But have a look at the grade 5. Sorry, I've got the wrong spot. Here it is. Have a look here, grade 3. That grade 3 question 22 and the grade 5 question 10 was the same question on the respective test. And have a look at question 3 in grade 5, question 24 and question 34. And have a look again at a deeper level than just vocab. How would it actually work for a student, and what might we need to teach coming out of it? Okay, we'll start to scoot through because I know it's been a long morning. Any insight there? And I know there was a couple of points down here on this table, but any insight looking at those responses? Yes, thanks. Pardon? Yes. Yeah. In context, yeah. What really, can I come back to that point because it's a good one, what really is the first thing that will happen, do you think, for the percentage of students who got it right? What would be the first thing that might happen? Could it be, pardon? Yeah, piloting. Could it be that there'll be an element, like you and I, we basically would not have to go back to the text because we actually know what the word means? We just know the word. Can you see that in the, you just know, if we look at the one about, this at question 10 was about, in grade 5 was about the, you have it in front of you, it was about the kite and the word, the flying high, the sword. Some students, like you and I, would just know which word tells flew high and the kite flew high. We just know that it's sword because we know the word. The second thing is what Warren was saying. You can go back and you can use context. But did anyone look at how difficult that would be to do? We say automatically, oh, okay, you can use context, and you can. But it's not an automatic assumption we could make, because if you look back at the text, using the context is a little bit tricky, because again, you have to gather information over a paragraph. It says, next came Lord Noble Horse. His kite was like a golden eagle with its wings spread wide. That's the end of the paragraph. It soared into the sky. The people cheered and clapped. So there's a little bit of connecting across a paragraph in order to use the context. And then when you look at, if you don't automatically know the word, if the context is not going to help you, what do you resort to? And this is where the conversation down here, if you look at what students did, which one they chose in the incorrect categories, it can help you. Yes?
I have a feeling that it was that students who got most of those questions wrong.
Can you speak really loudly? Sorry.
If we sat with one of those students who chose B
Yes.
for question 3
Yeah.
and got said, read the question to me and have a look at the poster, that there'll be a percentage of those students who would say, oh, right,
Yes.
right, it's this.
Yeah.
Because there were, and then maybe one or two who would say,
Yeah.
what does it quite right mean? But I think that not reading the question properly
Yeah.
and thinking about it is possibly right in there for
Yeah.
reasons of why some of those students got it wrong.
And it is a good point, and I take your point, but I am going to play the devil's advocate in that that is quite possibly true, particularly when you think about this is fairly well into the test. You'll have some students who are starting to flag, some students who find sitting and reading this amount of work, this amount of reading and this amount of question answering and thinking a struggle, and so they might start to lapse. However, we can only go by the data that is in front of us. And we as teachers want to say, I think this is why. The student was overseas. The student, if we sat with them, I know they could do it. But ultimately, not just for a test situation, our ultimate goal is continuous improvement. And our ultimate goal is that, in this case, our students are strong comprehenders, because we know it is a key thing for success in schools. So the instruction for us can be, what you're saying may be very, very true, but I'm playing the devil's advocate, and we just need to be aware that we still always go back to, but what is the implication for our teaching? What's our implication for understanding for the students who do not manage? What can I know that will help me look for more things, be a more competent or capable teacher in this particular area? Is that without any, there's no judgment associated with that, but that's what we're actually on about. Because we have to go beyond and say, this is the evidence. If this is the evidence before us, what is the teaching practice that will support the ongoing development? And do I know what that needs to be? Does that make sense? And just to, look, and I'll come back to you because you don't have to, you will make your own mind up. But we need to be looking for, if there are many schools here in Zone 3, but also other zones saying, what is it? You know, why is our data saying this? We work hard at our school. We have great dedicated teachers, but what is it? What teachers do makes a difference. And the change in depth of our understanding and practice will produce a change in depth of what students learn and do. If you look at some of the responses to that, which word tells us that a kite flew high in the sky? Fantastic, 76% of grade 5s did get that correct compared to 51%, half of grade 3s. But I look at that and think some of them chose spread. And I think, it tells me a lot about that student. How could you possibly think that spread means flew high? I know why I think it happened, because the word spread was in the previous sentence. Some of them have got the word sparkled. 7% equally chose sparkled. What does it tell us? How could you possibly think that sparkled means fly high in the sky? Does it tell you something? Pardon?
The stars sparkle, I guess, don't higher.
Guessing.
It's all about inference. If you go too high up and infer, like anything, what's the data telling you? Probably that's a guess.
Yes, I would agree. I think it's a guess. And that's why looking at vocab, okay, the ones who just knew the words, the ones who were able to go back and work from context, and then others who just guessed. ESL schools with high ESL student levels in their school, and also those with low socioeconomic families in their school, and you know the association there with the strains and the concerns about vocab. But why? But also you will have students hidden in your school. We need to look at the data at this level to be sure that you're not bypassing other groups of students, and then that you're not generalising too much. Because, and why would you bother to look at vocab, and why would you bother to say, well, okay, as a school, what are we doing to develop vocab? Not just vocab so they get a question right in comprehension, but vocab because we know that it's really important in comprehension. We know that there's a link. There's an enormous amount of research around why vocab is important, because the link is good readers generally do have large vocabs, and they'll be the ones who'll be able to say, I know that word means so-and-so. And there's a link between improving vocab and improving comprehension. And this is working in our work. Do our staff know that?